Mr. Munir Mengal, a prominent Baloch representative at the United Nations, is a dedicated human rights defender and an author who has written 4 books about Balochistan. Currently living in exile in France, his extensive diplomatic work spans the European Parliament, Japan, France, the USA, and Bangladesh. He has collaborated closely with global organizations like Reporters Without Borders, RSF, Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, and the UNPO to campaign for human rights across Balochistan and South Asia. As an independent and NGO observer, he has provided key recommendations on international forums regarding religious terrorism alongside Interfaith International, and has delivered notable speeches at institutions including Dauphine University in Paris, Balochistan University in Quetta, the French Institute of International Relations, IFRI, and several American think tanks. It is often said that the sweetest songs in the world are born from the saddest realities. In a similar way, the most impactful stories in journalism often emerge from deep struggles. Today, Munir Mengal joins Nepal Aaja to share his deeply personal journey. From global advocacy to his harrowing enforced disappearance and the systemic violations of human rights in Balochistan, let's hear his story in his own words.
Thank you for giving me this time. Actually, I'm Munir Mengal. I belong from Balochistan. I was born in Mashke. I have studied in Cadet College Mastung, the initial education, and later on I did chartered accountancy from Karachi, Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan, and then I started my business. So while I was there in Karachi, at that time, particularly in 2005, at that time, I saw the Baloch women. They were coming to the Karachi Press Club, and they were, asking for the whereabouts of their loved ones whom were disappeared by Pakistani state forces at that time. So once I also, that was on my way, Karachi Press Club. So I used to go to the Karachi Stock Exchange. So the press club was on my way. So one day I, stopped there. I went to them and I asked them. At that time, I saw that there a lot of media people who were there. They were taking photos, and I shared my solidarity with them. But they took photos, videos. But on the next day, I did not saw any sort of news about that issue in any news channel nor in any newspaper at that time. Newspapers were very famous, but there was not a single statement in any newspaper, in any television about that issue. Then I thought that there should be a Balochi language TV channel. So because we the Baloch people do not having our own language TV channel, I went to Dubai and in 2005 and started to create a TV channel in Balochi language. So we did some agreements with Thaicomsat. At that time, the most of the channels were being in that region, South Asia particularly. Thaicomsat. I made the agreements. I made office at Dubai Media City. So we started working. We started later on. I started developing some contents. We made a program in Karachi, in Quetta, Ayub Stadium. Later on, it was called as Akbar Khan Bukti Stadium, but the Pakistani government again changed that name. And in Bahrain, there, at Bahrain Club, Baloch Club, there were some events. We recorded them as well. So when I was on my way back to Dubai from Pakistan, I was, I was smelling that the Pakistani authorities are they are not happy with that. But I went to the PIMRA, that Pakistan Media Regulation Authority, and we submitted, our application for media regulation. I did all the legal procedures, even with the government of Pakistan as well. But again, when I went from Bahrain to Karachi on 4th April 2006, so they from Karachi airport early in the morning, as I arrived, I was traveling in a business class, Ityadi Airways. So when I went to the immigration counter, he took my passport, and when he tapped the number, he found something was written there. So he said, "Me, sir, please you sit. I will check and come back." So he took my passport. He went, and then some other people came and they took me in a office. It was written military intelligence on that office. So later on, an army brigadier came and he started interviewing me. I told him all the details, but then they kept me there in that office till the evening. Then lot of army vehicles came, and then they took me to Karachi Malir Kent. At that time, there was a uprising by the Baloch people, particularly, a Baloch elder leader, Nawab Akbar Khan Bukti, was killed by Pakistani uh, uh, army, and there was a lot of resistance, particularly by the political parties in Balochistan. They were calling for their basic fundamental rights. So slowly the situation grew up, and the state started doing the same things with other people as well, and disappearing the people, military operations. These were the situations they were doing at that time. The worst thing which I have ever seen in my life, anybody could imagine that this could happen to any human being, was that one day they took me to torture area, and they said, after that person is your turn. So what they were doing, a man who was nude, his hands were, he was hanged a little bit, so there was a big searchlight, in Karachi. It's very hot. They put that, and then there was a cobra snake. So they put the cobra snake. So cobra snake, get on entangling in the feet and moving upwards. So this was so horrible, so harsh. Although I think that was not poisonous, but the when the snake used to cut his body, and there was a so big sort of cries from that man. I cannot even, whenever it comes to my mind, I cannot sleep with that sort of torture which they were doing over there. After that, when the Pervez Musharraf government finished, there were elections. People's Party, won those elections. Then, there were continuously calls from the court, from the media organizations. My family was protesting. There was, a lot of people raising voice in Parliament, in Pakistani Parliament. So there was a lot of pressure on them. Courts were continuously asking for my, for presenting me to the court. So then they handed me to the Khuzdar police at Hub Chowki. So they took me there in a Malaysia camp, and where the Khuzdar police officials were there, and they handed me to them in the month of, it was like I do not exactly remember the month. So they handed me to the Khuzdar police, and they took me to Khuzdar, and then the Khuzdar police, made an FIR against me that I was under detention with the police under MPO 16 and MPO 13, like this sort of, MPOs, they have special powers. They took the political persons under detention. Yeah, they used different, torture methods. Initially, they used the psychological method, that they should they put my mobile, on. So there were continuous calls, and there was a major who took my telephone, went out, and then came. He said, "Oh, there is a very sad news for you, that your mother has got out of home, and uh, since last 2 days there is no information about her. So this sort of psychological tortures they started giving me. And at that time, they used, after 5 months, they called me in office and they offered me to join Pakistan Muslim League. At that time, that was led by Pervez Musharraf, and they started, mentally preparing me for that to join Pakistan Muslim League. But at the end, I refused. I said I cannot join. I'm just an educated person. That was the business. I do not have any interest to join any political party. Then after 9 months, they arranged a meeting of me with my mother secretly in a hotel at Karachi airport, which area was under the Pakistani army. So they took me secretly over there and they brought her also over there in order to convince me to join a political party. But at the end, we refused. They took me back to that uh, you know underground military cell. uh, After that, they arranged a meeting. It was, I think, 26th October. At that time, there was a some sort of exposition in Karachi. Pervez Musharraf came to Karachi. So at night time, they took me secretly to a military garrison, and that was a rest house, sort of, where they early earlier tried to prepare me for the meeting with the Pervez Musharraf. So I met with the Pervez Musharraf, who was at that time the president of Pakistan and chief of army staff. So he said that we have done a lot of good things for the Balochistan. We are doing developing it and all these things. So you are a young man, so you join us in this development process. We will do a lot of good things for Pakistan. I was silent. So he said me that what you say, I because he gave an example that the hard time has gone to become a big man. So initially there is a hard time, as if anybody mounts on a camel. So the camel hurts a little bit, and after that you will succeed. So the hard time is finished. I replied to him, Mr. President, that the Baloch think that who is holding the rope of the camel. So when I said this, oh, you became a Baloch. So after that, he went on, giving me his point of view, his vision, his government development projects for the Balochistan, what he sort of they are doing. And somehow they were thinking that I will join that party. But then they took me back to the military cell, where the next day there was preparations at press club, that I will come and give press briefing joining. But I refused. They made a speech, everything. So again, it was a hard time started when I refused. Then uh, a day came that it took me in a black army vehicle, that is some sort of vehicle covered all side. And the major called me to the office where I went there. He said that I have received the death warrant for you from Rawalpindi. So this is your death warrant. He asked me to sign it. I said, how, sir, I can sign my on death warrant? But there were many people. They started, abusing me, and they put my finger in the ink and put it over there, and they announced, oh, it has been signed, done, done, done. All said okay. Then they threw me in that vehicle, like you throw something inside vehicle. So in that harsh way, they threw me inside that vehicle, and they drove the vehicle in out of road in desert area. And a point came where all started calling that the death point has came, death point has came. So the vehicle stopped. They took me out from the vehicle. And so one of them came and kicked me. They put your face towards Kaaba. As my eyes were covered with the cloth, so I could not see. But they they were doing it intentionally. And then somebody came and again punched me and said, "What's your last wish?" I said, "Nothing, just finish." And another person came, he also in abusive way kicked me and said that, "Pray for last time." I said that thousands of people are praying for me. If the Allah is not listening to them, so please finish as well. Then again, one of them kicked me by saying that, uh, "You are going to die and you are still smiling." I said, "No, I'm not smiling. My face is like that. That I it seems like that I'm smiling." But then there was a sound, "Aim, target," like that, terrifying. And again, the major came and said, "I have hard link with Rawalpindi. If you have a message or something, still I can save your life by calling them." This sort of things they did. But I was thinking that I'm going to die. This is my last time. And I said, "Please finish as soon as possible." But then they again abused me, put some punches, and again throwed me inside the vehicle and drove me back to that area, to the army cell. As the Baloch people have been facing, military operations from a long time. There has been, different stages. The Pakistani army, you know, they made military operations in Balochistan when they were raising their issues. Over here at the UN, actually, my objective is this: that there is a political conflict. The people of Balochistan and Islamabad, they are in a conflict, and it's the mandate of the UN bodies, and particularly the UN state members, that they should intervene. Because earlier the Baloch people, they tried the parliamentary system. They also made some agreements with the Pakistan, and like Nawab Noroz Khan, he made an agreement with Pakistan in 1968 when he came up and down from the mountains. The Pakistani army at that time made that agreement with him on a holy book of Muslims that's called Quran. But later on, he was they arrested, and him and hanged, his fellow members, and he himself was died because he was an old age person in the prison. Many sort of betrayals Baloch has faced from the Pakistani authorities. Therefore, now there needs to be a, a guarantor, because this is a political conflict. It will be solved. It can be solved only through negotiations. So the UN and the UN members should force Pakistan come to a table with the Baloch, and these countries, neighboring countries, or any other country, if or the West or the US or UN herself, or become a negotiator, of some sort of a guarantor, that the Baloch could get the trust that we sit with Pakistan for negotiation. There should be some sort of guarantor. By this way, this conflict will be solved easily. But unfortunately, we do not see any will, particularly any political will, in the other states. And unfortunately, Pakistan is enjoying that. Pakistan knows this thing, that no state is coming in between us. So I should use my might through military operations and enforce disciplines. That is being done over there on daily basis. Today, more than, as per different reports, 40,000 Baloch people are missing, including women and children. And now the Baloch women, when they came to the streets, the Pakistani army used the same style as they were treating the male. Like Dr. Mahrang Baloch, she earlier was on the streets for her father. Now she herself is a victim. She was illegally detained only because she was raising the voice for the Baloch people at different forums, at international forums as well. And but the Pakistani authorities, and they arrested her on baseless charges. And this is what I say: these were her own words, that "You, Mr. Justice, cannot give me justice. You only will read those statements which are being handed over to you by the military authorities. And this, if a court, a judge is doing this sort of things, reading only statements, that court is a kangaroo court. So this sentence of Mahrang Baloch in the last week by the that kangaroo court, that giving her life imprisonment, this is the worst kind of, you can say, abuse of fundamental rights of a person. And the Baloch people know it largely, that there is a no justice, there is a no platform where the Baloch should seek justice. And that's why it is high time for the international community, particularly the UN and other member states, that they should intervene. And I request to the Nepali people and the Nepali government that we have been in such a situation as you were earlier. And I think that you go to the historical record, facts, and then raise a voice for us, that why we became a victim of occupation, and you people got your independence. That's a great thing. That's what we appreciate that. And we request you that your writers, professors, politicians, government authorities, whoever can do, they should make some sort of research about us, about our current situation, historical situation, and they should write how the Pakistan is treating the Baloch people. So over there also in Khuzdar, the courts were giving orders for the release. Then they took me to Quetta. There also MPO 3, MPO 16. There also the courts were continuously giving orders for my release. At the end, they released me. I think it was May 27th, when it was a media day. As I reached to the home, so I was made house arrest over there. At last, after a few months, at that time, the Chief Minister of Balochistan, Lashkari Resani, not Lashkari Resani, Aslam Resani, he was the Chief Minister, and he called me that I am taking off this your house arrest, so come to Quetta and meet me. So I said, no, it's not possible for me to come to Quetta and meet you. But because of this media pressure, he took off this house arrest. And later on, the government was changed, and were many people whom names were under that. There's a list in Pakistan. They called it that these people cannot fly, so exit control list. So the new government took that ban of traveling from me and many other Baloch politicians, including Sardar Mengal. So approximately 27 people, we were in that list that the government announced, that these people's names are taken out from the exit control list. And from then I went to Turbat. From there is a small airport and only one flight to Dubai, and from there I went to Sharjah. So from that airport, it was possible for me to come to Dubai, and from Dubai, there was Reporters Without Borders was continuously in touch with me. Human Rights Watch and UNHCR. UNHCR, they interviewed me, and that they made file for me to come to UK. Human Rights Watch made a file for USA, and Reporters Without Borders for France. So as I during those interviews, I also asked them that what will be my life over there, what I can do, what I cannot do. So with RSF, the things went better, because from first day they gave me the liberty as I arrive over here. So and from the first day I will be a recognized refugee. So this sort of things. And with respect to media and TV channel, RSF said that we will help you in that getting the permissions and license. Therefore I chose to come to France.
That was the powerful journey of Munir Mengal, highlighting his fight for human rights, media freedom, and the struggle of the Baloch people. What do you think about his efforts and the ongoing crisis he described? Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more exclusive stories.